Boker Tov Havrim. I want to read a chapter from Hosea, Hosea 4. I think it's very telling. The whole book of Hosea is telling, but this chapter 4 is very telling. So I'm going to go ahead and read that and post it up. Hear the word of Yahuwah, you children of Yisrael, for Yahuwah has a case against the inhabitants of the land. For there is no truth or loving commitment or knowledge of Elohim in the land. Swearing and lying and murdering and stealing and committing adultery have increased, and bloodshed follows bloodshed. Therefore the land mourns, and everyone living there languishes. With the beasts of the field and the birds of the heaven, and the fish of the sea are taken away. However, let no one strive or reprove another, for your people are like those striving with a priest. And you shall stumble in the day, and the prophet shall also stumble with you in the night, and I shall make your mother perish. My people have perished for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I reject you from being priest for me. Since you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I also forget your children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. My esteem they have changed into shame. They eat the sin of my people and lift up their desire to their crookedness. And it shall be, like a people, like a priest. And I shall punish them for their ways and reward them for their deeds. And they shall not eat but be satisfied. And they shall eat but not be satisfied. And they shall whore but not increase. For they have stopped obeying Yahuwah. Whoring and wine and new wine enslave the heart. My people ask from their wood, and their staff declares to them. For a spirit of whorings has led them astray, and they went on whoring from under their Elohim. They slaughter on the mountains and burn incense on the hills, under oak and poplar and terebinth, because the shade is good. Therefore your daughters commit whoring, and your brides commit adultery. I would not punish your daughters when they commit whoring, nor your brides when they commit adultery, for the men themselves go aside with whores and slaughter with cult prostitutes. A people that do not understand are thrust down. Though you are a whore, Yisrael, let not Yehuda become guilty. Do not come up to Gilgal, nor up to Bethlehem, nor swear an oath, saying, as Yahuwah lives. For Yisrael is stubborn, like a stubborn calf. Would Yahuwah feed them like a lamb in a broad place? Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have whored continually. Her rulers wildly loved shame. A wind has bound her up in its wings, and they are ashamed because of their slaughterings. Hallelujah. All right, so that's very telling, eh? Verse 1, he's got a case against the inhabitants of the land. For there is no truth or loving commitment or knowledge of Elohim in the land. People, there's no truth of Elohim. There's no truth of their God, quote unquote. The Father, who they call by God, a title of God, there's no truth. And there's no loving commitment. There's no commitment to obey the Torah there. And in the land, he says, swearing, lying, murdering, stealing, committing adultery have all increased. We've done this. Our earth is terrible. Are the people that live here, they're cruel. Bloodshed does follow bloodshed. How many years now, in this country alone, have we been tied up in war? 18, yeah? 18, 19, going on 20? Tied up bloodshed after bloodshed. I'm surprised we have any young men left in this country for sacrificing them to the machine. So, the land mourns. It sure does. And everyone living there languishes. Are we not? Are we not poorer than we ever have been? Are we not suffering? Do we have people living in tents that had beautiful homes and cars and everything, but they had no knowledge of Yahuwah and how to maintain their blessings? And so it says, the beasts of the field, the birds of the heavens, and the fish in the sea are taken away. Yah is going to take them away. You know why? Because they're not going to live through the suffering that he's about to bring down on this world. They're not. They don't deserve it. They've done nothing wrong. They're animals. We deserve the punishment that Yahuwah is going to bring, not the animals. He's going to take them away from us. And it's going to be our fault that he took them, first of all, because he's warned us already. You know, this is how it's going to go down. But it's in kindness to the animals, in loving commitment. They don't deserve his wrath. Honestly. So, verse 4 is very interesting. However, let no one strive or reprove one another, for your people are like those striving with the priest. Don't we reprove each other and strive with each other every single day? We act like we have the right to correct one another in our walks. I mean, it's one thing to be supportive. It's one thing to be encouraging to continue on, or if someone asks you and you're trying to whatever, but I'm getting it now. It's not my place to strive with other people on Facebook or anywhere else. I still do sometimes on Facebook get sucked into other people's conversations. I feel like I want to help explain something or whatever, and then I learned a good lesson last night, yesterday. Even my people who call me friends are going to just mock me. So, I can't kick those people out of my life entirely, but they are going to mock things that I believe because they just don't believe them. And I have to learn how to forgive that and just move on. So, no longer am I going to be commenting on people's posts, Facebook posts, anyone's, because I don't feel like having a friend pop out of the woodwork just to make me the butt of their joke once again. So I'm finished pretty much commenting, except for one or two people who I know they only have godly people on their posts and they speak of godly things. And you friends know who you are. And I love you all so very much. So, I won't be reproving or correcting anyone who is not close to me, who I can do in love and understanding, because other people cannot maintain their fruits, and it causes me to roll out of my fruit uncomfortably as well. So, there's that. You shall stumble in the day, verse 5. We do stumble all day long. And the prophet shall also stumble with you in the night. The prophet needs to be godly during the day. At night, though, however, the prophet will stumble, because in the dark is when people think they can get away with things that Yah sees. But they think that it's dark so Yah doesn't see it or whatever. They think that if they do it privately, they forget about our Father's eyes. That's the way I take that anyway. And I shall make your mother perish. Is that wisdom? My people have perished for lack of knowledge. Because we don't understand. Many don't read the Torah, so they have no idea of what will be going on. They have no idea. Yeah, since you have forgotten the Torah of your Elohim, I also forget your children. Forgot the Torah. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. My esteem they have changed into shame. I don't know. Turn on Family Guy. Any single night of the week. They're mocking the Messiah. His esteem they've turned into shame. Christians and non-Christians alike mocking the Messiah. Watching TV shows that mock the Lord, mock Yahuwah, mock the Messiah. That's disgusting to me, frankly. It's disgusting to me. I got rid of my television a long time ago because of things like that. I've got no interest. Whoring, wine, and new wine enslave the heart. So, whoring, going to worship other gods is whoring. And wine and new wine enslave the heart. Okay, so wine, drink. I can take that for drink. And new wine, you know how it says don't put new wine in an old skin lest it burst. Okay, new wine would be considered Torah. If your old skin would be considered your old man. Okay, and you need to get rid of the old man and get a new man. New skin, new wine. Okay, so new wine is considered Torah and the learning of and the keeping of Torah, and you're a new man. You're a new person. You're a changed person. So those things enslave the heart. So my people ask from their wood, and their staff declares to them. I don't know. How many crucifixes do you see hanging up in churches? Or wooden crosses do you see hanging up in churches that people are praying to and praying under? And you know, you pray once, I see it all the time. Oh, I prayed about it, and I got an answer, and da-da-da-da-da. And I've done it more than once. Prayed, thought I got an answer, went about my business, and here to come to find out, it was an answer all right, but it was the answer I wanted, so I forced it on my Father, and made it seem like that's what he wanted from me, and oh, what hardships that was. So he says, verse 13, he says, they slaughter on the mountaintops and burn incense on the hills under oak and poplars and terebinth because the shade is good. In other words, they don't care. They don't care where they're worshiping or how they're worshiping. It all seems good. This is a fine place. Let's just do it. You know? Therefore your daughters commit whoring and your brides commit adultery because they don't know the way of the Torah. They're just doing whatever in every fine place that you've set up for them. And in 14 he says, I would not punish your daughters when they commit whoring, nor your brides when they commit adultery, for the men themselves go aside with the whores and slaughter what they call prostitutes. So the men who are supposed to be the head of the household are walking out and committing adultery and not teaching their family properly, not loving their family properly. Yah would not punish the women and the children because they're being taught incorrectly from the men who are supposed to be right directly under Messiah. Do you a whore, Yisrael? Let not Yehuda become guilty. The Jews. Let's talk about the Jews. There are Jews that are true, and they are still keeping Torah. They are orthodox in their behaviors. They do not believe in the Messiah. However, they keep all the rabbinic laws that they can keep without a temple. And they keep it lovingly because they love Yahuwah. I have friends that do this. And I suggest that people leave the Jews alone. You don't know who belongs to Yah, and you don't know who doesn't belong to Yah. I dislike the way Israel is calling the Talmud their law, their book of the law. But, still in all, There are Jews in Israel that are Jews and always been Jews. That never left. Yehuda, the scepter shall not pass from Yehuda. They keep the set apart days. And that's what they're required to do, to be a witness to us dummies who are just getting it figured out, okay? Ephraim is joined to idols. We were joined to idols. I was joined to idols. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. What? What? Don't go in the Christian churches and tell them how wrong they are and stand up and scream and yell about it? Don't tell people what to do? Really? How about that? Yah says Ephraim is joined to idols. Let them alone. Their drink is sour. They pour continually, and our rulers wildly love to shame. Yah is dealing with Ephraim, just like he's dealing with Judah. And we need to get off our high horses and stop judging people, myself included. I'm talking to myself here, not to anyone else. I'm talking to myself. I can't be judging Christians. I disagree with the way they believe. And I will be the first one to say, I believe a little differently, and explain it out. But I'm no longer up to judge them. My Father has this under control. And I'm going to turn this over and leave it to him. Because I think that's what he's been saying to me for more than a year, a long time now. But I wasn't listening the way I should have been. So, doesn't matter. The two sticks will come back together. I think they're in the process now. Ephraim is waking up. But Ephraim will never, ever accept a Messiah that looks different than what is in the Torah. No one will ever accept that Messiah that looks different than what's in Torah. Only people who have no interest in the Father. Anyone who loves the Father leads them to Messiah. The Messiah leads them back to Father. It's a giant circle. And it's the way it is. So, the Father's not leading anyone into the Christian church, trust you me. I went there for a minute and the Father led me straight back out because I thought I needed to be there. So, back there, I should say. So, anyway, I'm done with this. 19 minutes. By the time I'm done praying, it'll be 19 verses, 19 minutes. So, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this book of Hosea. It's so very telling and revealing. Thank you for loving us so much that you brought us your word so that we could live by B-I-B-L-E, basic instruction before leaving earth. If we leave even. We may leave for a minute. Anyway, I praise you, Father. Thank you so very much for everything you've done for me, for everything you've done for anyone listening to this. Please bless them reading this word. I pray in the name of your Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, who shed his blood to blot out my sins so I could start again. Thank you. There's not enough words. Thank you's not even good enough. I love you, Father. In the name of Messiah, amen. Bless you all. Love you all in Messiah. Have a blessed day.